afternoon, traders, and welcome to this week's Forex Focus, the show where we look at the opportunities that could be setting up from the FX markets for the week ahead. Now, in today's show, we've got quite a bit to talk about. Although there's not been so much movement in the FX markets, there are certainly a few pairs out there which could be presenting some opportunities in the week or the weeks ahead of us. And we'll take a look at one of the trades that we've also entered just yesterday in the Euro Pound. So without further ado, let's take a look over at the charts. So starting off with the Aussie Yen chart, as you can see here, we've been waiting for this previous low here at 86.59 to be hit. We've been talking about this for the past couple of the weeks. The market's just taken a little bit of a bounce up over the last week. This week so far we're sort of a little bit indecisive, but if we jump across to the daily charts, if I just zoom in there on the daily chart, you can see that the daily chart has this nice descending trend line. If you're looking to sell this market, we personally wouldn't be. We're waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for the market to come to us at the lows that we just showed you on the weekly chart. But if you are looking for some sort of sell opportunity, you want to sell it down there, we wouldn't be doing that right here. What you do instead, you'd wait for the market to come up towards the trend line over here. And once it gets to the trend line, then you look for your favorite entry technique and you take that short towards the lows on the weekly chart, which is this one over here. Okay, but at the moment that isn't on the cards. At the moment that's not on the table. We've got to wait for it to pull back there, then you can take your opportunity. And if you are willing to be disciplined, which ultimately is what trading's all about, you know, it's about taking quality trades and not quantity trades, the quantity of trades, then if you're waiting for the right opportunity, really we're waiting for the markets to come down to the 86.18 level where we'll be looking for potential buy opportunities. However, it looks like we're a little way off of that, so that probably won't present itself. Well, it certainly won't present itself now. It potentially won't present itself next week. We may be looking 2 to 3 weeks into the future before the market gets down to this level. But regardless of when it actually gets down there, that is the opportunity that we're looking at. The Aussie New Zealand is giving us a nice potential buy opportunity from this level here. So we're at a big level on the weekly chart. You can see it's this 1.0458 is kind of toying with that level there. It's breached through there once. And if we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see that it's coming down there and it's at that level again. Now, we've got two things that we could look to do with this trade here. First of all, we could look to sell through the support level. We wouldn't do it immediately. What we would do instead is we'd wait for the market to break through that level, prove to us that it wants to hold below that level, and then we would take that short. Because the problem is, if you jump in directly here at massive lows like that, you know, you've got one of two things that can happen to you. It's either the market is going to completely go with you and you're going to get a nice trade and you're going to get paid, but equally possible is the fact that the markets will come down to this level and they will use this as a level to bounce from. And if that happens, you can get an equally violent move from this level here and you can find yourself underwater very, very quickly. So when we come up to the big levels like this, the way that we like to play them is ultimately wait to see what the market is going to present, and then we'll trade based on that. We're not going to trade based on what we think can happen, because that is, you know, the biggest recipe for getting yourself into trouble. So at the moment, we're just waiting. We will see what the market does in the coming weeks and days. The Australian dollar, we are looking to take this short. Again, we're at lows on the Australian dollar, as you can see here. So we've got this previous low in here. It was a massive level. So if we zoom in very quickly, eventually. So we've got this massive level here at 0.7665. It got to that level in 2007 before it then rallied nearly 2,400 points all the way up to the 1,000 level. So near close to parity there. It then broke down. It smashed through that level since, but it is still a big level on our charts. And with the market coming such a long way in such a short space of time, you know, it isn't a surprise that it's reacting to this level here. However, we feel that the market will continue to go lower. The fundamentals support that. and we think it's just a matter of time. So we've got our eyes on this, as you can see here on the daily chart, on the 4-hour chart. If the market gets below that level there and holds below that level, we are going to be taking this short. So we've just got to wait to see what happens in the coming days, but this is certainly something that can set up within the next week or so, or even within the next coming days. The CAD yen is pretty much the same as we've been talking about for the last few weeks. We're just ultimately waiting for it to come down to the 990.45 level, so 90.45. It isn't there yet, but if it does get down there, then we'll be looking for a potential buy. The euro pound is something that we entered yesterday. Okay, so we got in not on this initial move here, this initial spike down. We waited for the market to breach it and then sort of proved to us that it wanted to go lower. And if we zoom into that chart there, so what happened is the market came down to this level, breached it, okay, came back within the range. And now this is why we wait for it to give us a second opportunity, because oftentimes the market can come down, it can break a level, but actually the bigger players want to take it higher, and they just use this sort of area here to manipulate, to ultimately provide liquidity for themselves to be able to get in at better prices. So we like to see that there's a bit behind this level. If it's a big level, we don't always want to just jump straight in, and that's exactly what we did here, or what we didn't do here rather. We waited for the market to break through the level, pull back a little bit. On the second attempt down, we got short. We are now sat a little bit out of the money at 74.15, but our stop is quite a way away, so 200 plus pips away, up at the highs here at 76.04. But we are, and ultimately we're looking to take this lower. And the first target that we're looking at is around the 72 level. See if I can get this in here for you a moment. So if you see there, the 72 level is a massive level of resistance going all the way back to 1999, 2003. So no doubt the market will have some sort of reaction to that level. We feel that the market, it will sort of act as a magnet almost in any case and pull our position towards that level. So we'll be looking for one-to-one, and we'll see what happens when the trade gets down there. Moving on to the euro yen. Euro yen here is quite interesting because we believe that ultimately it's going to make another attempt to go lower. We've got a big downtrend in here, or a good few weeks of downwards movement. It's not quite a trend, so we don't have the swings. But in any case, we've got big momentum move to the downside. And what we have on the charts right now is the markets. If you take a look here, this is the 13475 is this big level over here. If I just put that on the charts, on the weekly chart, it's that big level there. Now the market came back to that level, played with it. It's holding just above that level. What we are looking for is a breakdown in price here. So if we can get a breakdown on the 4-hour, it will break down below that level again. So give us a second opportunity to take a break from below that big level there. And what it will also do is it will be a break of this counter trend line here as well. So for any of you guys that have been following us for a number of years, you know that this is one of our favorite methods. We love the moves, the momentum moves in a particular direction followed by a counter trend line break. It makes for some nice profits a lot of the time. And ultimately that's what we could get here, but we'll get a conjunction of different levels here. Confluence of different levels here. And if we can get a break below those levels, it's certainly something that we'll be looking to take. So moving on. The euro dollar is no surprise. Again, we're at quite a big level here on the daily charts is where we'll be looking to take this from. Ideally, we would have liked to have seen a bit more of a pullback, but it doesn't seem like the market's willing to do that just yet. So if it doesn't, we believe in further weakness in the euro, so we're definitely going to take every opportunity to get short that. As I said, we would have preferred a little bit of a pullback. It doesn't seem like we're going to get that. So if we get the right sort of price action, when it breaks through this level, we'll look to take it short. Remember, we are short the euro pound already. So even if we were to miss this, we still have some exposure to this potential move here, which is a good thing from our perspective. So we just need to wait to see what happens there. But the euro dollar does seem poised to go lower. The pound New Zealand is very similar to the Aussie New Zealand. We've got a huge level here on the weekly chart. Every time the market comes up to this level at 21087, it falls away. Comes back up to it, it falls away. Comes back up to it again, it falls away. And as you can see, every time it falls away by, you know, a good sort of, well, what was that? Nearly 2,000 points. So it's a huge level there. We're coming up to it again. We don't really want to sell just now. We prefer to see the market come up to this level. Once it gets there, then we will certainly be looking to sell it. And this is, you can see it on the daily charts here a little bit more clearly. So if I zoom in there, we're looking at this big level here. If the market can come up to this level at around the 2.1057, fail to get above the level and then hold below, then we'll take it short. Of course, if the market breaks out above it and holds above the level, then we could see quite a violent move to the upside. And if we do get that move, our eyes are going to be on these sorts of levels up here as a first potential stopping point. So you've got a good 1,000 points, 1,000 pips potentially on the table for that move there. The New Zealand dollar is also coming up towards the lows here. So we've seen with the Aussie New Zealand, the pound New Zealand, and now the New Zealand dollar. So the Kiwi is basically coming up to support as the New Zealand dollar is against all of its other, in all of the other pairs and the other crosses. It's coming up to support here. Big support on the weekly, 0.70089. If we can get down to that level, if we get the right sort of price action, we'll be looking to buy this as well. But again, as I said at the beginning of the video, these moves may not present themselves this week or next week, but there's certainly going to be something that presents themselves in the week ahead. And finally, the dollar CAD. You know that we want to take this long. It looks like we've got a bit of a triangle formation going on here. So you can see we've got a nice uptrend on the 4-hour chart. On the daily chart, we're up towards the highs. On the weekly chart, we are up towards the highs, you know, almost in uncharted territory here. And on the 4-hour, we've got a triangle. So what we're looking for here is a break of this triangle, a break of this high here at the 1.2696. And then we'll be looking to take that to the upside. And if we do get the opportunity to go long, you can see that once we get out above that level there, we've got nothing but fresh air up until the 1.3121. So a good sort of 500 pips there before we're going to get to a major level, which is good to see. It's what we like to see, you know, high probability opportunities. Okay, so that about wraps it up for the Forex Focus for this week. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found value in it. As I say always, if you enjoy these sessions here, then please subscribe to the channel and you will ensure that you're updated as soon as we post these videos. Give it a thumbs up as well if you like it. And remember what I said earlier in the video, that trading is about the quality and not the quantity. So instead of trying to take millions and millions of trades in hope of getting more pips and hence more profit, instead focus on taking quality setups, because if you can take the quality setups, then you can look at taking bigger position sizes. Okay, that's how you can look to grow your account. You're not going to grow your account by taking lots and lots of, you know, subpar setups that really don't make sense. You're kind of squinting a little bit to see them. You want to take the most obvious setups. You want to be patient, remain disciplined, wait for them to come to you. Because if you take the right trades in the right locations, and we're showing you how to do that here with these weekly videos, then you will put yourself on the path to profitability. That's where you will start to see your equity curve take a nice turn to the upside, and your trading all round will improve. Okay, so thank you very much for watching the Forex Focus for this week. If you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to post them below the video. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. So take care now.